तेरे रंग तेरी पहचान है, तूने दीवारों पर जाने अपने ये रंग लहराने दे। Nerolac Impressions, दीवारों पर अपने रंग लहराने दो। Nerolac, Nerolac.
Welcome back. How do you deal with all these models who are completely, they are not into food, like all three of us, we were discussing earlier, we are all into food. How do you deal with them?
Well, either they eat what we provide because we serve the best food on any shoot.
I second that. The
Anywhere.
food is fantastic.
I mean, most people would give their right arm to be on my shoots because of the food there, more than anything else. And if they don't like the food, I never take them on again.
And that's why you got involved in all the restaurants and things like that. You have two restaurants in Bombay.
Well, I started cooking at a very early age because I actually had the fortunate blessing of looking into a mirror and I realized my face was never going to be my fortune. So I better learn how to cook. And if I was going to learn how to cook and find my way to various parts of young ladies' hearts and anatomies, then I better be a good cook.
Which you are. Which you are
I'm
great
not
at.
bad at, yes.
Yeah.
No, he's great at it because like we were just, I think he has abundance in his personality and his characters.
Where did scuba diving come in?
Well, scuba diving was an accident.
You're very passionate about that as
I'm
well.
very passionate about it because it was the only time I actually had a religious experience, and I'm basically ambivalent about religions, especially about organized religions. I cannot stand them. But when I started diving, I went to a place called Lakshadweep, which nobody had ever dived in before. And I dived there. It was the most amazing experience of my life because I saw everything so imperfect in its perfection that I said, hello, there has to be a God somewhere. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking for him, this is where he is. Otherwise, I've never seen any trace of him otherwise. Because whatever else that we see, however beautiful it is, it's tainted by the impact of human beings. And only in Lakshadweep I found a place which had not been touched by man.
Really?
Absolutely. It was stunning.
And swimming and diving also helps you lose weight?
Kind of, yes. Not really. It's not too much of an effort.
But I think, talking about weight, Pooja, you've been a great person in hiding weight. I mean, you dress really well. In fact, you should be giving us tips because...
Notice the necklace, it takes away the focus from the jawline. Notice the black, I mean, all of that. I mean, ask me about the art of being able to kind of corrective dressing. I think I've learned that down the years.
But your sense of style is great and always has been.
I watched her grow up from a sex bomb to a very sexy woman.
How come you never told me that when I was growing up? You used to
come on.
make me feel like this gawky teenager and they used to traumatize me. Suddenly everyone thinks that you were a sex bomb. I'm like, wow.
I can never imagine you being
because,
gawky.
in my fantasy, nobody wants me for my mind, Prahlad. I think all of us, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly. And we've had to go by on our personality a lot more than our looks or our bodies. So
I think a woman looks very sexy because of her eyes and flawless skin, which you have.
That's my genes. Like, I can't really claim any kind of, it's my mother's great genes.
To start off with, I had this great crush on her mother. And then I suddenly discovered this little daughter who was growing up on the side looking like this little exotic orchid. And I said, hello, what's happening here? It runs in the family. And then I see a father who sort of didn't belong. And then I looked at his photograph when he was younger. And he wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah, he was quite a charmer.
Accessories is something that you're very into, right? Like this beautiful accessory you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
You think it makes or breaks an outfit?
I think so. I think that I prefer to wear kind of cleaner lines, simpler clothes where, I mean, black and white is actually what I wear the most, even though, I mean, I probably add one splash of color, but I love silver. I love old Indian jewelry, and I think that I've just gone off Western jewelry completely. I think there's so much within the country that you don't even bother discovering. When you wear this and you walk on the street in New York, everyone kind of zones in on it,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that I grew to actually rediscover jewelry that came from India, and I'm just really not interested in diamonds anymore. So I'm a pretty cheap date and a wife to have because I'm not interested in the diamond.
Your accessory is your style mantra.
I think I like to dress with a little more drama than
what do you think of all the actresses today? I mean, today they all have to be more groomed than, like say earlier days.
I think that there aren't very many people who have a distinct style of their own. I mean, most of them are dressed very well when you dress them or somebody else who's probably as good as you dresses them. But if you look at them, the girls especially, there isn't really anybody who's kind of jumped out in terms of having a distinct personal style.
But also I think what happens is like if something works today, everybody
Everyone's
feels let's
like
just
a
do
herd
that.
mentality.
Let's work anyhow,
But I guess that's the thing. I mean, I think the first thing you need to do is question and just never follow blindly and just go out there and have fun with fashion and with clothes and just wear what you want to wear.
Are the kind of clients I get from Antwerp and wherever, and they want all opulent ghagras. I saw this in this film and I saw this in that film. But you, who is a style icon, goes away to Goa and gets married. And of course, I'm sure you didn't wear a very heavy lehenga. So what did you wear?
I actually went trouser shopping in Goa and I discovered all you could really buy are beautiful little thongs and string bikinis. And I wish I could have worn a string bikini and got married.
I like
I
those
don't
thongs, huh?
have the body to carry it off. So I managed to pick up like a Wendell white linen skirt and a blue kurta from somewhere, and I put that on and I had kajal in my eyes. Hair was wet. Found a little flower, put it behind my ear, and I was just all set to go, ready to get married.
But you were always one of those flower children. Right? You actually, right from as a kid, you were a flower child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, whatever you do is different. You didn't wear a lehenga, you wore a skirt.
I wore a skirt, I was barefoot, I was so comfortable, I wasn't worrying about sweating or makeup or what, how it was looking and whether there were 20 people there was some great Goan food, there was the ocean out there, it was just heaven.
Oh,
Yeah, but she, as you said, you're a flower
must have
child.
been perfect.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, oh my God. But did you think that as an actress you did so many roles, and now when you see these girls like all dressed up and all slimmer than ever and all doing these sexy item numbers and all that, do you think that you could, if you were, if you had become an actress today, would you do all this?
Well, I think that you need a great amount of talent to be able to do what Madhuri does or what Kareena does or whatever. I mean, you need to have a
of
belief.
course, yeah.
And you need to be able to go out there and do it. I mean, it's easy for people to sit back and laugh at them, but it's not easy. Meryl Streep cannot do what Madhuri Dixit does.
The difference between Madhuri was that however outlandish she looked or was asked to do, she did it with such complete
Conviction,
belief.
yeah, she carried
Such
it.
belief that she actually convinced her audience to suspend their reality and to understand hers. Now, that's really what cinema is all about.
Yeah.
It's the suspension of belief. The jump between the curtain and the audience gets completely wiped out and you become a part of the action.
Yeah.
Now, the secret of good cinema is really where the audience leaves their own reality behind
Yeah, and just gets into the film.
and
yeah.
gets into the film. That's what cinema is all about. If it's not magic, it's not cinema.
Yeah, that's true, absolutely. But the film that he directs is going to have not only a good script, but glamorous and very, very sexy girls in it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
You were an actress, then you became a producer, then a director. Do you think your dress sense kept changing or that remained the same?
No, it's changed completely. I mean, I think that when I look back, I mean, colors and styles, and it's just evolved so much. I think for the last 2 years, also because of the size that I am right now, it's been the whole, I think Frida Kahlo actually really influenced me a lot. So it's been the shawls and all of that.
Yeah, I think to a lot as a director, it's more comfort than
comfort.
than style. But you always make a style statement because regardless of what you're comfortable with, and that's the main thing. That as a director, it's hot. You're running around in studios. You're working 18-hour days. So the first primary concern is really what am I comfortable in, and then you comes what colors am I wearing and what will complement me. And then the third is, okay, now let me put my stamp on it.
Yeah, and it's also about how you want to feel today.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
wake up in the morning and you're feeling in a certain kind of mood and you want to feel, so you pull out something that kind of gives you that that feeling.